Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Raju Keshri. I teach political science in Janki Devi Memorial College in the Department of Political Science. Today, I'm recording this lecture on an important topic, and I have this PowerPoint presentation behind me. Hope you enjoy it. Uh, Now, before starting with the main topic, which is political parties, uh, there is okay. So it is politics of representation and participation, and political parties come under this politics of representation and participation. Now, this politics of representation and participation, this politics of representation and participation is at the core of modern democratic politics. Uh, Without this, we can't think of a well-functioning democratic system. And within that politics of representation and participation, these political parties stand as an important instrument of making that ideal into a reality. Political parties are very important for the functioning of modern representative democratic system because they are something that have evolved over a period of time, and without them we can't think of well functioning modern democratic representative system. They are something who are not confined to only provide people with kind of representation. Their role goes beyond just representation to the people. The whole history of democracy has been the history of fight for representation and participation. So there have been movements in different parts of world at different points of time for representation. Okay, representation means to be represented in the decision making process, and democracy talks about including everyone, taking everyone on board when it comes to making decisions. And there have been different groups which have been fighting for representation from time to time, representation and participation. How to make this into a reality, that those for whom this entire governance system exists, how to make sure that they have real voice in deciding what has to be done. Okay, so this fight has been going on for a quite long period of time, and this fight is still going on. So voting rights, okay, this suffragette movement, how it actually started and how it shaped modern democratic politics, and how voting rights were extended from. It wasn't universal right from the beginning. In fact, it was the fight which actually made sure that this important democratic right is available to each and everyone. So voting right, though we are we are in a sense, our Republican journey started with the voting rights to everyone, universal adult franchise, but it has not been that smooth for many other groups world over, wherever you go, starting from UK, US, and so on and so forth. So, in that sense, political parties emerge an important kind of glue, in a sense, that actually binds this structure on one hand, okay, the structure of government and people. So it's important in a sense. Now, starting with the technical definition of political parties. Okay, it's not very difficult to define political parties, but still, for the sake of our presentation, we need to understand what actually makes a political party stand out, because there are other different forms of what is called associational participation in democratic politics. For example, you all must be familiar with pressure groups. You all must be familiar with social movements. But political parties, they stand out in certain respects. What actually makes them to stand out from these different other forms of associational politics? That's what we need to understand. Okay, so now political party is a group of people that is organized for the purpose of winning government power, okay, Okay, so that is part one. Okay, they political parties, they try to win government power. Okay, and what kind of means they employ? Not okay, so they okay, so they try to win government power using electoral means or any other means. Now electoral, we all understand, we all know that there is a thing called election. Okay, so elections, periodical elections, all right, to elect the government, to elect the set of people who are going to rule us for, let's say, next 4 years or 5 years, as the case may be. Okay, now what is meant by this other means? There are political parties who do not abide the conventional uh, you know uh, uh, they don't abide by the conventional mode of participating in politics. Now it will be more clear or clearer the more we proceed in this discussion. Okay, so they don't participate in election, they don't want to participate in election because for them election is nothing but a charade. Okay, it hides something. Instead of giving real voice to the people, this it actually takes away a kind of real power from the people. So what they want to do, they, using one or the other tactic, they want to capture government power that is there. Okay, so they want to win the government power, but winning government power is not the end of the story. Instead, they want to capture this government power, and after capturing this government power, they will be redesigning everything, the whole structure of government. Okay, the whole structure, because they think this structure is not truly representative. It doesn't represent people's voices, people's interests, so it needs to be overhauled. Okay, so that happens. Okay, there are certain characteristics that almost all the political parties share. Okay, the first characteristic is these political parties, they exercise government power. Okay, they exercise government power. Okay, by winning political office. Okay, it's pretty much clear. All right, they are organized bodies. Now it's important, it is not an individual entity. Okay, it is not an individual entity. There are some technical problem. Okay, okay, so they are organized bodies. Okay, and often these political parties, they carry a formal card, in a sense, card for the membership. It means not anyone and everyone can participate in the proceedings of the political parties. Okay, so whosoever wants to participate in the proceedings of political parties, they need to have the membership of that party. Okay, so there might be a nominal charge or something, and you take the membership of that political party. So that is important. So without membership, your participation within the party is not possible. Third one, okay, so these political parties, they focus on broad issue areas. Okay, so broad is very important. Okay, so they, in general, they define what they want to do, what they want to achieve. Okay, so these political parties, they would be addressing each of those major areas. Okay, normally, we see the focus areas in what is called whenever the political parties, they come out with manifesto, election manifesto. Okay, so these election manifesto, they contain what the party thinks of society, polity, economy. Okay, and how they would like to go about these important arenas. Okay, so those broad areas are reflected in those manifestos. Okay, these parties, they are also united by a shared political preference. Okay, and general ideological identity. Okay, so this shared, if there is no sharing of, let's say, worldview, why people would come together? So these people, they have come together because there is some commonality in terms of their identity, ideology, interests, and so on and so forth. Okay, and normally these political parties, they try to posit a kind of ideological orientation. Okay, so they would be gravitating in terms of ideology. Okay, so what I mean by ideology, like they would be saying, I believe in centrist politics. Okay, sometimes they will be gravitating towards leftist politics. Sometimes they will be gravitating towards a right wing politics, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are kind of ideological identity cards that these political parties often carry. Now, this is not something fixed once and for all. Political parties also evolve over a period of time, and they also sometimes dilute their ideological baggage. Okay, so depending on circumstances. Okay, so sometimes might be a political party which is completely opposed to immigration. They would be very much welcoming to immigration. Okay, so there are political parties, who are very much ideologically, what is called, very much ideologically committed political parties. But over a period of time, the requirement of electoral politics made them to dilute their ideological baggage and more, should be in a position to attract those voters who do not, fit themselves into, let's say, right, left, in a completely neatly carved out compartments, ideological compartments. So there are, floating voters. Okay, so they can go with anyone, whichever party actually offers them the best, let's say, offer in a sense, in terms of, let's say, some social, economic, and political policies. Okay. Now moving to the next. Okay. These political parties, okay, they are very significant because without political parties we cannot think of the operation of modern politics, in particular modern democratic politics. Okay, political parties, they have not been in existence since time immemorial. They are something very modern phenomenon. Okay, so they are relatively recent invention. Okay, so they emerged in 19th century. The first political party to emerge, which is there in existence even now, okay, in America, this Republican Party. Okay, so Federalist Party, Whigs. Okay, now it is Republican Party. This is the first party to be formed in a sense. We will also see kind of the evolution and expansion of these political parties also coincides with the kind of emergence of democratic politics and, let's say, expansion of voting rights for different sections of population. Okay, political parties differ in terms of matters such as their organization structure, how they organize themselves, okay, their ideology, left, right, center, and so on. Okay, extreme right, extreme left. Okay, they also carry out different functions. It is not just winning power; they also perform important functions, which we will see. Okay, so like educating voters. Okay, educating voters in government functioning and so on. Okay, training future leaders and so on. Okay, political parties, they are also lauded as the great tools of democracy. Okay, that is part one of the story. The second part of the story is equally interesting and important, and that is also that political parties, they have not been able to address. Okay, so the political parties, they happen to be the great tools of democracy, but they also have, they are criticized as a source of tyranny and repression. Okay, so there are political parties who have been seen to be anti-liberty, anti-democracy. Okay, now this is something that the scholars point out. Okay, these political parties, they have their own conception of democracy, democratization, equality, liberty, representation, but they have often been seen as kind of the upholders of what is called tyranny and repression for the masses. Okay. Okay, so in continuance with that, okay, that political parties, how they negatively play a role in society. Okay, so they're also blamed for failing to articulate new and more diverse aspirations because of conservatism involved in their functioning. Okay, and this is also one of the reasons which we will look later, that that has led to what is called people, people being they're being disenchanted with the this form of democratic politics. It means they are staying away from participating in political parties' activities. They are less interested in taking membership and so on and so forth. They are not disinterested in politics completely, but what they want, they don't like this way of participating in politics. They have found out different other ways through which they can make their voices heard. Okay, they have failed to solve and address many of the problems, okay, like poverty, okay, ethnic hostility, okay, among different groups, okay, some other pre-modern rivalry which has been in existence in one or the other society, okay. There also seem to be structures of mass politics, okay, okay. So with despite all these negatives about political parties, we cannot completely discount political parties, okay, because they are something which have actually mainstreamed this participation of masses, okay. Now moving to the next, okay, how political parties have evolved, okay. So we are going to look at the evolution of political parties, and this is also one of the ways to classify political parties, okay. So this classification is there, that these types of political parties are there in existence, okay. They, maybe a political party is named differently, okay, but largely, we can easily find, okay, if we want to, if we are interested in what kind of political party is that, okay. So we can, after looking at that political party's stances, okay, policies, programs, and so on and so forth, we can easily classify those political parties into one or the other category. Now this is completely in an evolutionary manner, okay. So like the first political parties, or first type of political parties to emerge in the world are the liberal parties, okay. These liberal parties, they are the first to emerge, okay. And when these liberal parties, they emerged, it was a kind of democracy was taking shape. Representative democracy was taking shape. The politics for representation and participation had just started brewing in those societies, okay. So largely we will see these political parties, they started emerging in the Western European context, okay. So liberal party are the first group of parties to emerge, in a sense, okay. What they focus upon, representative democracy, okay, constitutionalism, okay. They also recognize individual rights, okay. And they also talk about preservation of individual property. Now these are the important general ideas which actually shaped future democratic politics too, okay. So demanding representation, okay. So no taxation without representation, okay. Constitutionalism means limitations on the powers of the rulers, okay. There should be limitation, okay. Unbridled power should not be there, okay. Power should be accountable, okay. Individual rights, okay. Individual rights, okay, like what Locke talks about, there are certain rights which are inalienable, okay, which nature has endowed us with, so they should not be taken, they cannot be taken away by society even, okay. Leave aside government, because nature has given us those rights, okay. So example of liberal parties, okay, Free Democratic Party of Germany, that is, okay, that falls in that category. The second group of political parties to emerge are conservative parties, okay. These conservative parties, conservatism generally means status quoist parties, okay. They are very averse to change, okay. They also emerge alongside these liberal parties. Now we need to keep one thing in mind. During the time when liberal parties and conservative parties were emerging, the voting rights were very much limited, okay, constrained. Only let's say negligible section of population had voting rights, okay, and a lot of qualifications were there, okay, like who can vote, who can participate, okay. So the conservative parties, okay, they emerged in response to these liberal parties, okay, to preserve the social fabric from being completely destroyed because of rapid change, okay. These parties also, they believe in divine, okay. They value traditional forms of life. They recognize private property, freedom, and so on and so forth, okay. So that is there. The best example is England's Conservative Party. It's a very old party, okay. And we also know how there are certain conservative elements which are neatly knit into British democratic system, British democracy, okay. So they are constitutional monarchy for no reasons. It's not true that there's no reason why they have maintained this monarchical system even now, okay, because Okay, there has been this convention that we need to preserve. Okay, these are the values of British system, so we need to preserve it. Okay. Okay, next group of rights are socialist parties. Okay, these socialist parties, okay, when the voting rights were extended, okay, a new group of people emerged, which was large in number, okay, and which was earlier disenfranchised. They got voting rights. Now, when they got voting rights, okay, who is going to cater to their kind of demands? Okay, okay, like by very design, socialist parties, they are pro-worker parties. Okay, and we also know uh, during this time industrialization, urbanization, all these processes had started happening. So there emerged a group of people who, let's say, who must have migrated from rural hinterlands, and they started working in factories and so on and so forth. And this group became quite huge in number. Okay, and from there came this demand for representation. So voting rights were extended. Okay, so these socialist parties, in terms of policies and program, okay, they believe that states should intervene more in economy. Okay, they should protect workers. Okay, there should there should be more socialist intervention by the state and so on and so forth. Okay, so largely these parties, because of their very support base, workers are they constitute the largest group. Okay, who support these political parties. Okay, so their policies and programs are designed in such a manner to cater to these people's needs. Okay, so French Socialist Party is such okay, is such that party which is there in existence even now. Okay, okay, next is communist parties. Okay, these parties, of course, there is a difference between communist parties and socialist parties. Okay, in fact, socialism too is not one uniform, coherent ideology. Okay, there are different brands of socialism. Okay, so it's a kind of, everyone has his or her own brand of socialism. Okay, but communist parties are very specifically defined. Okay, okay, there is some commonality between communist parties and socialist parties. These communist parties, they focus on workers' rights, state. Okay, they more emphasize state. It's not state intervention. Okay, rather they emphasize state controlling economy. Okay, that the state should control economy. Okay, because if the state does not control economy, this mad following of these laws of market, that is going to create winners and losers. Okay, and the losers are large in number. Okay, that is not going to equally benefit everyone. So state should control economy and should channelize all the resources. Okay, another thing about communist parties, they are, by their very design, they are anti-war. Okay, so there were many communist political parties who came together during Second World War period to oppose war. We can also see kind of this 1917 Russian Revolution. Okay, the first country where this kind of communist revolution happened, and Communist Party came to power, in a sense, by seizing power. So we can see in that context, because this Communist Party Communist Party, they were opposed to this Russian participation in the First World War. Okay, so their anti-war attitude is there among those parties. Okay, next group of political parties, they are quite recent. Christian Democratic Party. Okay, they originated before First World War. Okay, it's like 20th century. Okay, these political parties, they want to act as a counter reaction. Okay, to liberal or secular legislations. Okay, liberal or secular legislations, because they believe that this kind of madly following liberal principles, it is undermining certain social and religious beliefs. Okay, so these actions are to be opposed. Okay, so largely they, for example, abortion is very tricky and touchy issue. Okay, that abortion, and there are certain other aspects, okay, of government legislation, okay, where these political parties, they think that too much scientific intervention or state intervention in certain areas is not welcome, okay. In terms of ideology, okay, they happen to be centrist parties, okay, uh, particularly with respect to economy, okay, and largely their focus is on moral issues, okay. The focus is on moral issues, okay. So like I said, abortion, okay, LGBTQ rights, okay, LGBTQ rights, okay, all these issues are there. Next are agrarian or regional or ethnic parties. We can see these political parties, they don't happen to be very big electorally because of the group that they focus upon and the issues that they want to address, okay. These political parties, they are largely found in Scandinavian countries, okay. These countries happen to be very dynamic democratically. They often come out with innovative ideas about democracy, popular participation, okay, and so on and so forth. These agrarian parties, they happen to be on the right, okay, to the right on political and social issues. We will talk about right, okay. So here the opposite of right would be left, okay. So they happen to be right on political issues, okay. And these political parties were quite effective, okay. They were quite popular during the period between First World War and Second World War period, okay. There are regional or ethnic parties also, okay. These regional or ethnic parties, they have very specific agenda, okay. Like they will be talking about some regional identity or the ethnic identity, and they want to advance the interest of that particular ethnic group, okay. Largely these political parties, they are seen as carryover from the nation building process. We can see in India too, there are regional or ethnic parties, okay. You can easily find there, okay, how these regional and ethnic parties, okay, they have become predominant in particular regional and provincial politics in India, okay. So that is there, these political parties are there, okay. Internationally, this BNP, okay, Basque Nationalist Party, BNP. One second, okay. Okay, so this Basque Nationalist Party in Spain, okay, that is that is an example of regional or ethnic party, okay. And we also have SNP, okay, this SNP, that is Scottish Nationalist Party, okay. I think you all must be familiar with kind of referendum, or sort of referendum or plebiscite. There is a technical difference between the two, okay. So Scotland wants a kind of independence from UK, okay. So this party actually espouses kind of independence of Scotland from UK, okay. So though that referendum was defeated, but this party is there, okay. They have a minimum number of representation too, okay, and they are fighting for Scotland's independence, okay. Next group of political parties, okay, they are quite recent now, really they are quite recent, okay. So these are parties like Green parties, okay, Green parties, okay. I think you must be familiar with, okay. They are they are in existence, okay, and they are gaining currency too, okay. In fact, Germany has kind of, as of now, the government in Germany is also supported by, okay, a Green Party, Germany, okay. So Germany's ruling coalition as of now is called traffic light, traffic collision. Okay, why traffic collision? Because there are political parties, okay, there are political parties who have come together to form the coalition. Okay, their kind of flag color, okay, is like it's one is red, okay, red, yellow, and green. Okay, so the green actually represents these green political parties. Okay, these green parties, they focus on what is called non-materialist issues. Okay, non-materialist issues. Okay, now what are non-materialist issues? These issues are not the traditional issues such as safety, security, okay, food, cloth, shelter. Okay, these types of issues, okay, which are conventional in nature. Okay, these issues, they don't focus on these issues, rather they move beyond these issues. Okay, and what are the issues that they start focusing upon? They focus on, okay, environment, okay, environment. They focus on nuclear power. Okay, they focus on human rights. Okay, they also focus on democratic representation. Okay, now if you look at these issues, they are completely new. Okay, like hot issues these days. Okay, environment, very important. Okay, nuclear policy, that nuclear energy should be phased out because it is very disastrous. There is a lot of risk involved with nuclear power. Okay, human rights. Okay, human rights, again, it's in international currency. Democratic representation, that the form of democratic politics should be redesigned to give more voice to the people. Okay, so these are there. Okay, and these issues, they are also called new left issues. Okay, new left issues. If there is new left, then there is going to be new right too. Okay, so there is an emergence of new right in Europe and elsewhere too. Okay, new right. What these new right parties focus upon, new right parties or new right leaders, okay, their focus is on law and order. Okay, what is law and order? They are saying that there is a law and order problem in our country, and this problem is because of some outsiders. Okay, like there are people who have come from the outside, so they are disturbing this law and order. Okay, largely they are anti-immigrants. Okay, this new right, they also focus on patriotism. Okay, personal morality issues like LGBT. They will be against this LGBTQ rights. Okay, they are anti-abortionist. So these issues are there at the center. Okay, and sometimes these parties, they become right-wing extremist parties too. Okay, perhaps you must have read in your newspaper recently. Okay, this AFD. Okay, in Germany. Okay, which saw protest too in Germany. Okay. Okay, which happens to right-wing political party. Okay, so these they happen, they go beyond sometimes, taking law and order into their own hands. Okay, so they, in that way, they adopt extremist position. Okay, so parties. Okay, this is okay. Front National of France is such a kind of party. There are there are a whole lot of political parties which have emerged in Western Europe, in not only Western Europe but Eastern Europe too. Okay, and there are a whole lot of populist leaders. Okay, right-wing, new right leaders which have emerged. Okay, not only in Western Europe but in America too. We are seeing the emergence of new right. Okay. Now, moving to the next. Okay, political parties can also be classified. Okay, in this manner. Okay, so political parties could be cadre-based political parties. Okay, they can be mass-based political parties. Okay, a political party could be representative, or a political party could be integrative. Okay. Similarly, a political party could be constitutional or revolutionary. Okay. A political party can be left-wing or right-wing. What is meant by these? Okay, I'll just briefly discuss. Cadre-based political parties are very disciplined political parties. They are very disciplined. Okay. And the membership of these parties is not very easy to get. Okay. So communist parties are of that kind. On the left side. Okay. Okay, Nazi party. Okay, fascist party in Italy, that is also of that type. Mass parties, they don't have that kind of ideological knitting. It's not very strong. They dilute their ideological baggage to appeal to more and more voters. Okay, representative parties, those political parties who see themselves as just representing people's wishes. They don't believe in this philosophy that I can shape or I need to shape people's interest too. Okay, on the other hand, an integrative political party, okay, would like to shape people's opinion too, okay, in favor or against a particular policy or whole range of policies. Okay, a constitutional political party will participate in election, okay, uh, they will participate in elections, okay, seeking people's vote, okay, adopting constitutional means to bring about change. On the other hand, revolutionary parties, they don't believe in democratic, constitutional means, okay, like, bring, resorting to revolution to change, to seize power, then changing everything. Okay, the last one, okay, a political party could be left wing or right wing. In simple words, left wing political parties, they are change. Okay. Okay. Okay, change and reform oriented. Okay. Change and reform. On the other hand, right wing political parties, they happen to be status quoist. Status quoist. Okay, so left wing, right wing political parties, okay, so there can be a extremist left wing political party, there can also be extremist right wing political party. So Nazi party, fascist party, they are examples of right wing extremist parties. Okay, on the other hand, let's say CPSU come kind of there could be left wing extremist, yeah, in India's case, okay, CPI Moist, Communist Party of India Moist, which is banned party in India. Okay, that is an example of left wing extremist party. Okay, now this is all about this much, only this much time allows. Okay, I can record another lecture for some other time to have more discussion on this. Okay, hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video.